I think the first thing about fake news is we have to define what it is, because it's become a much abused term that means different things to different people. I would avoid the term and talk about deliberate disinformation when someone is trying to deceive the audience. There are two ways to counter this. One is by telling the truth, and the other is by saying someone else is lying. I prefer the avenue of telling the truth. I think that professional journalists should carry on their work with high standards, being accurate, free from bias, and making sure that the reader knows exactly where the information is coming from, so that the sourcing is very important. Carrying on that work is vital. It's also very important to call out liars. So if someone is giving false information, we should also say this information is inaccurate or a lie, depending on which seems more the case. And ideally that should be done real time, because there are a lot of fact-checking sites up and about these days. They're really useful, in fact they're vital, but the problem is a lot of that relies on people going there to check the facts they've heard on the TV. What you really need is for the media organisations where people are making these claims to immediately try and verify as best they can what's happening, so that the counterclaim or the true version is given straight away, otherwise it will get lost. Well, media literacy, what I understand by it is helping the general population understand what news they're getting, how they're getting it, and where it's coming from, whether they can trust it or not. And I think it's an absolutely vital tool these days because of so much social media and lack of control, which we never had in the past. We had overly controlled media in the past, where there are very few outlets and people were in control of the, governments or businessmen in control of what was said. Now anyone can say whatever they like. Media literacy, I think in a way it's nothing new. We've had newspapers before in the past and TV stations that have been very biased, had a strong line to tell, and I think people in the past should also have been told to look out to know where their news is coming from. Some people did, some people didn't really realise. And also we also had advertising where companies would make claims and you had to sort of teach people how to pick out which of these claims were accurate and which ones were maybe suspect. I think media literacy is vital. Whether it's efficient or not depends on how it's done. I mean, I think a lot of media literacy can be great, but we've really got to work on doing it in the most effective way so people really actually want to buy into it, to get involved, rather than it just being on offer to a population who aren't interested. One of the most disturbing results I saw of a recent survey were that a lot of people don't actually care that much if the news they read is true. They're more interested in whether it's entertaining and fun, and I think that's something we need to combat.